Hey everyone, welcome to Relatively Refined. My name is Paula. In today's video, my sister Kathleen shares with us a tour of her Vermont farmhouse decorated outside for Christmas. She's also got a thrift haul and a trip to a local store where there's some awesome creative inspiration to be had. And stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to share with you my cornstarch and baking soda ornaments. Also, I think we'll be having one more video before Christmas, and I'm going to share a little bit about the Christmas decor in my own house and also a little special surprise for you. So you'll want to turn on that notification bell so you won't miss it. And also, if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel and it lets YouTube and us know that we are on the right track. All right, let's get started.
Hey everyone, I'm Kathleen and welcome to Relatively Refined. Today's video has three parts. I'm going to start with a little Christmas thrift haul and show you what I picked up recently at a trip to the Goodwill. I am going to take you with me on a shopping trip to a new store. It's a newly renovated store. It was 2 years being renovated in Manchester. But it's just a great place for inspiration. And it's just magical to walk through that. So I'm going to take you on a little trip with me there. And lastly, I am going to share with you some how I decorated the outside of my home. This year I started with the outside and worked my way in. And so I want to show you what I did. So to start, why don't we start with the thrift haul? So I really don't need a lot of Christmas things, but sometimes my favorite thing to get at thrift stores at Christmas time are the ornaments because they're so unique. They're never ornaments you can find in the store. And so case in point, I did pick up this tiny little piggy bank with a little, I don't know if you can see it, with a little penny stuck in it. And it doesn't have a hanger, but I think it hangs from that little squiggly metal tail. But I mean, for 50 cents, I thought that's so cute. And my daughter is really trying to save to buy a house. So I thought that might be a really nice ornament for her to save her pennies in the piggy bank. So that was that little thing. I did get this, I think it's gorgeous. It's like a trivet. It's called Screencraft's Trivet from Cape Cod. But look at the pattern on that. I love blues. I mean, I think it's so wintry and Christmassy and beautiful. And it says peace, goodwill toward men. But it's just so simple and beautiful. And it was $1.99 at the Goodwill. And again, I love the blues at Christmas time. Speaking of blues at Christmas time, I did get this little box of 4 Scandinavian tiny little candle holders. And they're all different. They're blue and they have these little candles in them. And there's a little hand painted something different on each of the 4. So here's the snowman. Here is the holly. And you can see it's on both sides. I'll take the candle out, it's easier to hold. Some Christmas bells. Very simple and Scandinavian. The sticker on the back said they were from a Scandinavian shop. And a red poinsettia with the gold. And again, very, very simple and sweet. And I think I'm going to just put them around on a side table in my living room because they're so cute. I also picked up for $2.29 a box of, it says Christmas tree spode pastry forks, set of 6. These are brand new. I mean, the box was not, let me see if I can get it open here. I mean, you can see, but there they are. They've never been used and they are spode Christmas forks. I thought they would be really good. It says pastry forks, maybe for dessert, but I liked them for charcuterie, like pickles or olives or things like that. And very sweet with that, classic Christmas tree pattern that is spode. So for $2.29, It could have made a lovely gift, but I'm going to keep it to use when I put out different small foods. I did get this very cool paper mache Santa. I don't know, there was something about him that I absolutely loved. And it doesn't have any markings on it. It's like a wooden or paper mache. I'm not really sure what it is. But I figured with a little tea light on it, it would make kind of a cool decoration. I really liked it. Just very, very unique. Again, one of those things that you can only find at a thrift store. And the last items that I got 6. They came in little sets of 2. And they were $1.29 for the set of 2. And there were 3 sets of 2. So I got 6 teacups. My idea, because I'm going to hold that up so you can see the little pattern. It's red and green. So I thought, okay, that has Christmas colors in it. They are made in England, stamped on the bottom. And if you watched Paula's video where she makes candles and puts them in different vessels, I thought these would be adorable to make candles in them and give them away as gifts at Christmas time. So I actually bought the old saucepan that I might use to melt down some wax and these, and I'm going to give it a try. I just need to get the wicks. I haven't had time to do that yet. But the super simple pattern on there caught my eye, and 6 of them for under $4, $3.90, not even $3.75. You can't go wrong. So I'm going to experiment with that, making some candles. And they're actually very sweet. They would be very sweet to drink tea out of, but I think I will use them for the candles. So that was my little mini Christmas thrift haul. It was fun. It was fun just to poke in one day after work and see what they had. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to jump in the car and we are going to take a little field trip to a store called Catbird Studios in Manchester, Vermont. And again, you will see I featured on our Christmas tablescape some coral that I used, artificial coral. It looks like sticks or twigs, but it's artificial coral that I purchased there. And I use it in my centerpiece. It was sort of the inspiration for my centerpiece for my Christmas tablescape. But they have been undergoing a 2-year renovation and it is magnificent. So I thought I would share that along with you. So let's go. So here we are at Catbird Studio in the newly renovated gift shop. There was a Christmas room that you stepped down into, and it was just filled with beautiful ornaments. I particularly like these felted ornaments, the mice and the animals. They're so cute. And they come in all different, like skiers and just every different thing you can think of, but they were just adorable. And she had a lot of new ones this year. So cute. The little mushrooms were adorable. And the little girl mouse holding the candy cane. I have quite the collection on our own tree. They're always fun to look at and get ideas for new ones to add to the collection. I loved the artificial floral display. It could have been on a street in Paris. So beautiful. The colors all displayed in those tin holders. Ranunculus, just really, really quality, high quality artificial flowers. I thought my sister Patty would love this room, the ribbon room. Tons of spools of ribbon in all kinds of colors and shades of colors. Absolutely stunning. and various paper products, which are always great stocking stuffers. Most of this was like velvet ribbon on spools. Just so beautifully and so beautifully displayed. Beautiful gift wrap, sheets of gift wrapping paper that honestly you could probably just frame and use as art on your walls. It was that beautiful. The shop has so many unique things. This huge lighted tree right in the middle of the store, kind of going up in the cathedral ceiling, was just spectacular. It's so festive. And she carries many different things from many different countries, so there's always sort of an ethnic flair to certain things. They're just so gorgeous. I loved these tin candle holders and these tin houses. It would look so pretty on a mantle. She had them displayed on this very gorgeous piece with the mirror. She had many different kinds of garland draped in different places. Every little nook and cranny had something. So back home, I thought I would share with you my outside decorations. This year, from the National Forest, we were able to get this adorable little tree, potted it in a vintage tin bucket, and I decorated really with just mushrooms and lights, and some of those little houses that I made one year. You can see them on there. The mushrooms are just painted acorn caps with a branch hot glued in there. And it's just very simple, and I think it looks adorable on the porch with the Chandler four-corner pillow and the garland across the doorway, and of course, my welcome sign. The urns are some of my favorite things to decorate. This year, I went with all just what I could find. Cedar, dried hydrangeas that I hadn't yet cut back, and some of those red twigs that you can find on the side of the road here wherever there's water. And I had some pine cones that I always, when I buy a wreath or get a wreath, if it has wired pine cones, I always save them because you can just shove them or stick them into the urns and they stay. Oh, and there's a peek at our tree out in the woods. All of my urns follow the same exact pattern. They all have the hydrangea. They all have pine cones and greens. And then I did have a few artificial berries that I was stuck in. I did have to throw away a few. After about 5 or 6 years, they do get old. Here's the front of our house with the 2 urns and the large sort of vintage colored lights in the garland over the doorway. And a beautiful wreath. We even put some different bulbs in our outdoor lights to try to give it a little more festive feel. And these urns, like the ones out back, are filled with the exact same elements. The red sticks, the hydrangeas, the greens, and pine cones. And on the side porch, you'll see the wreath that I shared in a recent thrift haul. As we come inside, the first room I decorated was our sunroom, our screen porch. I love the paper star or snowflake in the window. And this year we went with those vintage colored lights. We took down the regular ones that hang all year round and replaced them with those. And it gives out such a cozy feel in the evening. I just replaced the centerpiece on our little coffee table with a more Christmas centerpiece with one of Kevin's trees and some greens. And put a little bit of greenery above the doors with some votive little candles. I don't know that I'll light those. They're awfully close to the greens, but it looks nice. And as you get ready to enter the inside of our house, right by the doorway is our little gnome welcoming us all inside.
Gals and Greens is a really fun event that a friend of ours holds every year. She has a big old barn and she gets all this different type of greenery in. And a bunch of us all get together. My sister Kathleen goes every year and her friends. Last year I think my mom might have joined them. Anyway, they all get together and they have wine and hors d'oeuvres, and they make these beautiful wreaths, and it's a wonderful time. I know Kathleen looks forward to it every year. So here are some video clips and some photographs from an evening of Gals and Greens.
Thank you for joining me to the end and sticking with me to the end of this video. I appreciate you letting me share with you some of my favorite holiday traditions. If you have not yet liked this video, go ahead and do so, particularly if you like this content. And of course, if you have not yet subscribed, please do that. We are so close to our 7,000 subscriber goal and then leading to our 10,000 subscriber goal. So until the next video, enjoy the holiday season and all it has to offer, and we'll see you soon.
All right, so what you need for these air dry clay ornaments is some baking soda. You need 2 cups of baking soda, 1 cup of cornstarch, and 1.25 cups of water. And then you will need cookie cutters or molds or something. I'm going to try using these cookie molds right here. One is a pine cone and the other is a Christmas tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the cornstarch, the baking soda, and the water over on the stove in a saucepan and heat it, continuously stirring over medium heat until it forms the consistency of like a mashed potatoes. Okay, so I've got the stove going, or the stovetop on, the burner. I'm going to add the water, which is 1 1/4 cups of water. Two cups of the baking soda. And then I'm going to add a cup of the cornstarch. Whoop, that went everywhere now, didn't it? All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stir this all together and over this heat. And when it starts to look like mashed potatoes, that's when it is done. Just try to get all these lumps out of it and continue stirring. It's still pretty soupy, so I'm just going to keep on stirring until it starts to thicken up and become like a mashed potato consistency. You just kind of have to be patient. I can feel that it is starting to thicken up as I'm stirring here, so we'll just give it a few minutes. So it's getting pretty thick, and I will get this going. Once it's thickened up, I'll take you off the tripod and show you what it looks like, but it is starting to get almost that mashed potato consistency. So you can kind of see as I'm stirring that looks very much like mashed potatoes. It looks like the Idaho mashed potatoes my grandma used to make from a box, right? So I'm going to take that off the heat. Now I'll turn the burner off, and you can see that is very much like mashed potatoes. I'm just going to let that cool for a minute till it's able to be handled, and then I'll roll it in a ball. But right now it's just a little too hot to touch. I took it out of the pan and put it in a bowl to cool. And what I'm going to do is just cover it. I have a damp dish towel right here that I'm going to just cover it with to let it cool, but also to stay moist so that it doesn't dry out. So I'm just going to cover that bowl with that damp dish towel and let that dry. I mean, not dry, but cool until it is cool enough for me to handle, and then the dish towel will keep it from drying out. Okay, let me get the towel off my shoulder, and this is cooled down probably enough for me to handle it. So I'm going to bring it over here, and it is very much like clay. It's very soft, kind of a Play-Doh consistency. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to try to pat or roll this out. Let me actually get my rolling pin. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is roll it out to about 1/4 inch. And I've put down some parchment paper and some cornstarch, just hopefully to help with the sticking. Let me roll this out. Well, obviously that's stuck a little bit. All right, so that's about 1/4 inch thick. And I have a couple of cookie cutters. So I will cut out some shapes. There's a bell. I have this really kind of vintage ornament looking one. So I'll do one of those. And then, let's see, will the snowflake fit in there? Yep, I have kind of a snowflake here. So let's see if we can get it on there. There we go. We'll cut those out to start with. And then what I'm going to do is I have a parchment covered cookie sheet, and you're just going to let them air dry for 24 hours. So I will set these over on the cookie sheet. All right, now what I think I'll do is I will try to do it in one of these molds. So I have the Christmas tree mold, and I've put a little bit of cornstarch in there, and then I'm just going to press this dough down inside the mold. And there's the tree. We try a pine cone. Get a little more of the dough. Press this dough inside the mold. Perfect. All right, do a couple more of these. I think the cornstarch really does help it to release from the cookie mold. Take my dough scraper, scrape it, give it a little whack, and out it comes. Tap out the extra cornstarch, get some of the dough. It's really a lot like Play-Doh. That's kind of how it feels in your hand. It has a Play-Doh consistency. Press that in there. This is the magic tool right here, the dough scraper. Scrape that off. Scrape that off. It's in there, give it a good whack, and out it comes. Here is a look at them on the parchment covered cookie sheet. So now what I need to do is I need to create a hole in the top for ribbon. So what I'm going to do is take a skewer and make a hole. Now you could definitely use a straw. That probably would be easier, but I don't think I have a straw. So I'm going to use a skewer, and I'm going to make sure that I make the hole big enough so that I can fit ribbon through it. So let me go ahead and put some holes in all of these, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so I have made holes in them, and as you can see, I'm sorry for the shadow, but it's nighttime right now, so the lighting's a little tricky. But I did make holes in each of them, and now all I need to do is leave them out for about 24 hours to air dry. I'm just going to put a layer of Mod Podge over top of these here. And then cover them with some very fine or extra fine glitter. One thing I did notice was that these thicker ones right here, they actually fared much better. The ones that I cut out with the cookie cutter were very thin, and they actually ended up cracking. So I think that if you're going to make them with cookie cutters, you want to roll your dough out to a little thicker than I did, because they do tend to crack in the drying process when they're that thin. And you can also help the drying process along by putting them in the oven on like 175 for a short period of time, maybe an hour or so. All right, I'm going to start with the trees, and I'm going to sprinkle a little of this iridescent clear glitter on them, on the trees. Put a little on them and a little on this one. And then just kind of tap off the excess like so. And then on the pine cones, I'm going to put this champagne glitter. And the lighting is not great because, again, I'm doing this at night. So let me sprinkle a little of this champagne colored glitter on the pine cones. Oh, I love the way that looks. So we'll put a little on that one. And then I will again tap the excess glitter off. Oh, I think those look so pretty. They're really cute. I don't know how well you can see these, but I really love that glitter. I'm going to put a little more on the edges of this, and maybe a little more of the iridescent glitter on. And I will let these dry off for just a minute, and then I'll put a velvet ribbon or some kind of a ribbon through them, and you can hang them on a tree or use them as package toppers. And they are so pretty. There we are. Once the Mod Podge and glitter was dried, I put some ribbon through the holes and hung them on my tree, and I think they turned out just beautiful. And I'm going to leave you with a look at these baking soda and cornstarch ornaments. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to watch our videos. We really appreciate it. I hope you're having a wonderful, happy, and healthy holiday season. And don't forget to hit the notification bell, because we will have one more video before Christmas. All right, everyone. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.